We have the breaking of the Deeping Wall sequence, and it's during Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, which advanced after taking on the Tigers fight from Gladiator. That one 13-7 over Gladiator. And we have that playing against the minecart chase sequence from Temple of Doom, which won 15-5 over the kitchen fight from the Raid 2. How do you score this one?
I went 6-4 Lord of the
I
Rings.
also went 6-4 Two Towers.
Okay.
And it pains me to eliminate Indiana Jones at any time, but
hmm
it's it's what needs to be done.
Once
Um,
again, they're actually kind of similar in what they're good at. So like the scope, there's like miniature work, really great miniature work, by the way. Like um and then mixing it in with the live action footage. It's just Lord of the Rings. It's a little bit more it feels more important, I guess, I would say.
there's more stakes.
Yeah.
There's more stakes to Two Towers. I said this again. I want to keep the full explanation for when Two Towers may lose
hmm
because I think it's a great point to explain this. That scene is one of the best fantasy world building scenes you could ever have. In that scene, you have the Deeping Wall explodes. Aragorn's caught in the explosion. Gimli jumps in to save him. Aragorn commands the elves to shoot everybody to make sure they can get Gimli out of there. And you have
hmm
Legolas surfing down the stairs on a loose shield. All of that shows great characteristics of what not only those characters do, but what those races can do in fantasy. I'll leave it at
hmm
that. I'll give more explanation afterwards. But you have so much depth to that scene. Also, just coded in, well, that was fucking rad. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
in the minecart sequence, I don't think it has as much depth or stakes. It's incredibly sequenced and it ramps up really well. Because I remember watching this. I've watched this. I want to say, what did I miss? I was kind of watching everything back to back, and if I could skip something, I would just for time's sake.
hmm
I was trying to spend some time with my wife for once. So, and in watching the Temple of Doom, it starts a little bit slower than you think it would, but it starts with an icon. It starts with the swing. It starts with Indy swinging all the way
hmm
there, and starts kind of slow, but then just builds, and more techniques are used to make that an incredible sequence. And this was one of your babies. I wasn't even going to put the
Yeah.
minecart in, and you're like, no, we need that
Yeah,
sequence.
it all should be stated as well that the minecart chase is inherently going to have less stakes
Yeah.
because Indiana Jones just is more of a fun trilogy, a fun adventure
Yes.
action rather than like an epic. So,
Right. And Temple of Doom is the movie that has the least stakes out of all of them, I would argue.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Um, Possibly even in comparison to the newer ones, although Temple of Doom's better than the two new ones.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I think you could even argue the stakes are higher in those two than possibly Temple of Doom.
Eh, they're about equal, I'd say.
Yeah, so but you have all these wonderful moments, and again, Spielberg at his finest, everyone gets to shine. Short Round gets his moment to shine. Willie even gets her moment to shine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
you get a lot of fun there, and then anytime you're in doubt, Indy's got you, and it's I mean, he's one of my favorite movie characters of all. I don't know. That's not even an argument. He is my favorite movie character of all time. So
He'd be up there for me.
he's so it's tough because you have something that is technically masterful, it just loses out due to scope. And
Hmm.
a minecart chase that's really like watching people on a roller coaster taking on the epic war of good versus evil when the hope
Yeah,
of men is dying. You're like, well,
yeah.
okay.
It also has a little bit of the effects don't hold up with the part where they're on the ledge at the very end,
A
but
little bit, yeah. It's
that's just out of its time. So
1984. It looks damn good for 1984. I mean, it looks
the miniatures and doll work though, where the part where short round's hanging over the lava,
incredible. It looks great.
yeah, those are dolls, and it doesn't look like that until you actually know that fact.
Yeah,
So
it's an incredible scene. So, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers advances with a 12-8 victory over the minecart chase from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That gives us our final four entries out of the Yo division, which is going to lead us. We're going to have in the round of 16, docking sequence of Interstellar taking on the truck and motorbike chase from Terminator 2. And then another. Jurassic Park might have the hardest road to
yeah, it
face,
does.
where
It does.
it's taken out everything everywhere all at once. It's taken out Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and now the T-Rex chase has to take on the Breaking of the Deeping Wall from fucking Helm's Deep in the Two
Yep.
Towers. That's going to be an interesting matchup, nonetheless. And that, my friends, is going to be the end of the Yo division.